Warning. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use, for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Somebody's got to have some sense in this world. And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense. And why should we be that way?
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, it's another one of those broadcasts, family. I'm gonna have to go ahead and jump on the screen for you there, family. Much love to you, family, because we got another hard hitter in this piece. Our good brother, good brother, man. Someone who's put in so much work in front and behind the scenes. We got to give a big B1 salute to our brother, BeatZilla, PDX. Welcome, family. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here, family. I've been wanting to do something with you for a while now, and I'm so glad that you took the time to actually be here today. It is a great honor for me, family.
Oh man, the pleasure's all mine, brother. I've been seeing what you been doing out here as well, and man, I appreciate what I'm seeing. That's what we need in this particular space as it evolves and as it grows, is more voices again, because this is a action of the people, and these are platforms to be megaphones of the agenda of the people. So, man, salute to you, my good brother. I appreciate it.
Major salute to you back, my brother. I want to start off with asking my favorite question to ask, because most of us that join this space, we don't start off in this space. We start somewhere else. We're doing something else with our life. It's never really the intent for us to jump into this space. So I like to ask this question. Mm-hmm. What is your villain origin story?
I think I'm maybe a third or fourth generation villain, I guess, if you would be in that lane. So, we come from a very militant type of area here, which it's a funny thing my wife just said to me the other day. She said, "How did I come all the way to Portland, Oregon from Texas to find the most militant brother in the state?" So it's more or less just being raised in my family. We have always embraced us, and so we've never looked down on the past. Although even you may be living in what we can so-called say success today, um, that resilience from those people is what makes us be able to do what we do today. So we've never was looking down on, oh, this is meager work. Like you hear Jasmine Crockett out here talking nowadays with the tone of, we ain't gonna be picking on cotton. Number one, they figured out how to stop picking cotton with the cotton gin. But with that mind state of saying that's less than, I don't appreciate that, because for me, yeah, that was just the conditions of the day that our people were in. But these people still turned around and still thrived, had the government come in, tearing their neighborhoods up, and we're still here. That's nothing to be disrespected. So I look at that, and our family has always taught us to respect that. So those traditions, I guess, I was brought up with. Unfortunately, when you get into the generation before me and some of our generation, we started getting into the idea of, well, maybe there's something better. And so I have watched a lot of that foundation deteriorate in these later generations, unfortunately. But for me, I could say I've always held fast to the side to where we are loving ourselves first. And we're always looking to replenish our community with Black families. So, and Black cuisine, of course, is always part of that. And then just the way that we could come together on, say, like family events. Unfortunately, these days, they're more so surrounded around funerals than they are around family reunions. So, but yeah, we came up in that day of actually having family reunions. And that's also another part of it, just loving the Blackness. And then going into like middle school, for me, that's around that late 80s, early 90s time, like between middle school and high school. So right around that time, everything was pro-Black. And realistically, I'm a hip-hop kid. So just as hip-hop was evolving, all of this pro-Blackness was right along with it. So from the 70s, like how we grew up here, because we're kind of offshoot of like the Panthers that they got out the paint in the early 70s. We're right behind them. So what we used to say as a relation to who we are as Black folks, we used to call each other blood. So if you hear that in the Pacific Northwest, maybe Oakland, people think that's gang talk. No. When we said blood back then, that meant all of us. We are family. So blood means young. You heard young. Hey, young
blood. Yeah.
sir. So that means young brother, young Black man. That's all that meant. There was no gang talk. But that was a way of, I guess, making it more real and all of us understanding that we're all transplants from families from the country. So we're out west. We all still kin out here. So that, of course, and then having such close relation to the state of Texas, all out this I-5 corridor. Man, this is the country of the Northwest, really. So, and then being outnumbered so greatly, I think it forces you to really immerse yourself in your community. So we've always been tight knit here. Like I still have my childhood friends. And one of my partners, he told me, he said, man, when I met you in freshman year, you was talking this then. And so this is just how we were raised here. We were raised to really love our Blackness, to embrace even we may not be in the big boardrooms and have full reign of power in the world. But one thing I wouldn't give up for none of it is this thing here that we got. And that's worth fighting for. So that, I guess, is the origin of my villain story. And then just growing up in this world, seeing how, hey, man, people want us to believe we're less than. But for us to be doing what we're doing and talking how we talk right now is the evidence of that not being true.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I'm moving, you know, that's just kind of been how I was raised. I'm fortunate that I was spoiled with overt blackness. Like I've been spoiled. I'm lucky. I mean, I can't say it enough. I'm just fortunate enough to be like Dr. Clark wrote our African American curriculum here. Like the connections to this city. Dr. Joy DeGroot, she's from here. Like we've been fortunate, man. That's what one thing I can say. We've been very, very lucky in this little small part of the Northwest, from between here to Tacoma to Seattle. You talking about Quincy Jones and Langston Hughes? Like, there's a lot of history up here.
Yeah, you know, I did not know that Dr. DeGroot was actually from Oregon. That's new to me to hear. Like, you know, and me being a West Coast baby myself, I used to tell people all the time, you know, there's no West Coast without Oregon, because Oregon and California, it's very connected. Same thing with Seattle up that way, you know. And so I feel you whole fold when you say that we're just basically an offshoot from the South, all on this side. You know, I love that. I watched one of your broadcasts, and you were speaking about being instrumental and being one of the people to push the new Black Media hashtag. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh man, yes. Going back to, I guess, maybe 2000, leading up into the 2016 election. We were already kind of active in, I guess, these political streets. I had podcasts back in the day, and a few of us, like, we were doing different things. So not everybody at the time. YouTube really wasn't in play as much as it is now. There was Ustream. Like, if anybody goes back to way back in the Ustream days, but just understanding how all of these different voices were starting to emerge, and, you know, my up and coming, because of what goes on out here, having relationships with people who, man, the people would be surprised how many people that came through Portland. So having that connection, especially to one of the major voices that people would know, I was like, well, I know they know who I am. And so with pushing this message, there's that old, I guess, validation, or shall we say, when people tell you can say, hey, I was told about this person 20 years ago. And so we learned about each other by way of other folks saying, y'all talk about the same thing. All of y'all, you need to meet. And so it's about, like, you know, in the 97-ish. And then you fast forward to these guys got platforms in the 2000s. It's like, man, I guess it's really time how things shaped up. And brother Professor Black Truth, he is the one that literally coined the phrase new Black media. And so my thinking is this, and I, along with myself, and kind of reached out to a few others that were supporters of these voices, said, man, what do you think about really pushing this banner of new Black media as one particular banner? Now, this is about 2000, going into 2016. So shout out to our brother, Great Black Shark, brother Black Voltron Reloaded, and D Tubman. A lot of them, they were like, these people were around in a very early Afro elite. We're out here just in these streets pushing this message and on these different platforms. Actually, also Six the Goddess, before she started moving into more of the relationship side, because Six the Goddess, before, if anybody forgets, she's actually in one of the hidden colors under her actual name.
Beautiful
yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And so just through all of these different connections, just started kind of solidifying one banner, just based on previous relationships and established that stuff that happens behind the scenes. And so started pushing this as one unified message. At some point, because I had a situation where I had to go away for a minute, because I was in a self-defense thing where, you know, you can't defend yourself against the non-black. So being in that situation, I had to do 14 and a half months for and what's so crazy is here, and there's a guy right now in my state that defended himself from an attacker that they obviously admitted that this person was giving him a racial attack. Well, the brother, you know, won, just like in my situation, and he's sitting doing like 70 months as the victim. But because he prevailed in his defense, he's literally saying that, so they're trying to get a pardon for him right now. But that's the type of things that also happen in this state. So with that being said, going away with my situation, I was kind of like being very vocal with my vision with a certain of like I said, with these different individuals. And while the time that I was gone, man, like the train was already on and rolling. So when I came home, right before I came home, there was a state of the Black Union with all three voices, with Professor Black Truth, Tariq Nasheed, and Jason Black. And from there, man, the ball was rolling. Now, there was somebody that tried to intervene and tried to jump on, oh, this is what New Black Media is, and tried to hijack it while I was gone. Well, you know, we immediately took care of that when I got back home, and the rest is history. So we've been just pushing this banner. People would then start approaching me and be like, "Do you own New Black Media?" And my take on this is, New Black Media is not about ownership. It's about everybody who subscribes to this message and who subscribes to the code. So that is what the driving force is behind New Black Media. It's not about one individual. It is about the megaphone. The megaphone is the message of the people. And anybody, if it comes down to myself, even Tariq Nasheed has told y'all, if any one of us start saying, hey, y'all, man, we got to start doing something else. Maybe we just need to consider. Hey, they got us, y'all. Don't listen to me. So that is kind of the message, man. And that's been my role in this. And then also organizing and finding some of these voices that I could see, especially for my vision, and say, hey, man, I see how this lines up, and I see how certain things can be put in place that just take care of themselves. So that's also that's just a natural career, strong suit of mine, to find the right people to be in the right spaces for an overall outcome. Because there's some people that are natural workhorses, but they have purpose and vision themselves. So my mind is, hey, this again, because it ain't about me. This is about everybody else. This is about us as a collective. So I want to be able to use my resources to facilitate putting that voice in the right spot. So this movement that we have here can flourish in the best way possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the fact that we are able to push this narrative for ourselves. You know, one thing that I do tell people all the time: if the message changed, then I've changed. So get rid
Yes,
of
sir.
me. So you're absolutely right with that, and it's the same thing. And I tell people about when we speak about reparations, there is just one strict way. When we're talking about reparations, it's cash payments and policies to go along with it. If anybody tries to change that, then they're not a part of the new black media. They're not a part of our movement at all. You know, and that is a very important statement to make, and I love it. You had a recent rebranding. What made you go from BeatZilla PDX as a brand to now the independent black voice?
Well, the BeatZilla PDX official brand is, you know, what's funny about that is, like, I'm literally the original. I took this name in 2003, and I've watched it explode. Unfortunately, some other situations tied to my name also have transpired. And, you know, again, so for people who are aware on that side, that would be going back to BeatZilla and Black Rome, aka Rome Miller, from Sacramento. So if anybody's familiar with that other part of my name in Sacramento, you could tie those two together. Next, you know, with those associations, it's usually tied for me to music, because again, I'm a musician. I'm still a musician, of course. And so when people see BeatZilla, they might say, okay, music. But then you get over here and it's like, okay, it's not music. So what I wanted to do is make this more of a its own platform for what we do, which is talking about the independent position of the black voice. So that is why I wanted to change the handle and the branding of it. Of course, it's still BeatZilla PDX official, but I needed to make sure that everybody understands the name change and the reason for it. Now, even more so, going into this independent conversation, I believe it's important for us to start moving into the realm of independence officially. Maybe, and even pushing, like our brother Tori and Rain Reloaded, he also advocates for officially changing your status to independent. And I also advocate for doing the same, because our agenda is not tied to the left nor the right. Our agenda is just simply our agenda. And I think if we move in the direction now, because we've already expressed to the world, we can get the couch votes. And so now you have to start dealing with the machine that can tell you, hey, 91 million people can listen to the new black media and the black grassroots over here and say, you know what, maybe they got a point. That means that it's more than just black folks tuned in to us. That is a heavy thing, because what that says is we had the loudest voice in the room, because after all, out of registered votes, it was the couch that won. Can't beat that. So now we need to move into the independent realm so no one can hijack what's going on. If you've noticed with the Democrats, especially, they're really trying to all of a sudden blacken things up. And everybody else's agenda somehow will circle back and affect us when it clearly doesn't. But if you've noticed, that's the wording. Like, no one can address their issues without somehow trying to crowbar us in there. You understand what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
I think that's why it's very, I wanted to take the lead. One of the people to take the lead, because other people have been screaming independent, and I wanted to do my part in moving just even how you view when you address this channel And the second word is independent. So, because people like to smoke screen our agenda for a party's agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get rid of that.
You've been having some eyes on you a lot, because I've seen a lot of the things that you'll take and you'll use on your broadcast. All of a sudden, here come the Democrats trying to shoehorn that into their agenda. You know what I'm saying? Especially the hands-off situation. Now, for as long as I've been watching you, for as long as I've been watching your broadcast, my brother, I've been seeing you do the hands-off. You have no dominion here. Zoom. You know what I'm saying? Hands off our reparations. And
yes, sir.
And then they come along and now they want to do the hands off everything movement. Did a whole protest.
And that's what's so crazy about it to me, brother, is really? I mean, okay, obviously I've been severely shadow banned, right? Mm-hmm. So, okay, we got that. But at least give me credit for, the things that I have done in the past. I'm also the person that brought you Foundational White American, by the way. Wow. So these people, they pay attention and then they'll go use it and thinking they can spin it. Because again, these are the people who are behind the scenes who know exactly who I am. Because see, you think of also my tie to the entertainment industry. All of that is one machine. Mm-hmm. So me being blackballed over here, they know why. And one of the reasons why they blackball artists they can't control is because we know how to tap into the people. Mm-hmm. We'll always have a pulse on our culture. Those folks, they're fighting in the dark. And so all they know now to do is to tap in. They'll listen to you. They'll listen to Brother Tariq Nasheed. They'll listen to these spaces. And they have to ear hustle to say, well, man, can we lock down what's going on with these folks? Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something. Another thing that I appreciate about us is the things that we can say don't necessarily mean everything we mean. We understand that. Mm-hmm. And so we leave that there. There's a whole world out here that can't figure out what's going on. And they consider, because this is one thing I've learned being in Portland, Oregon. I know how to talk in a crowded room and only talk to you. Mm-hmm. And so this is what I wanted to share with the rest of the world of how we speak in public in front of these folks without speaking in public in front of these folks. Mm-hmm. And I think we're getting there because they don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. They are just listening the best they can and saying, okay, this seems like they all agree with this. Let's use it. Mm-hmm. And then think, well, okay, black people will jump out there. Come on, man. I think they underestimate the intelligence of this generation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They'll listen to a space and you'll have somebody come up with Democratic talking points and get ran out the space. And then you'll have these Republicans that'll jump up thinking, they're on our side, and they'll pop up and then start talking that nonsense and get ran out the space too. So yeah, I agree with you 100-fold. They're definitely listening. They're definitely listening.
and that, you know what that says? Again, that goes back to everything I would say in our spaces. You don't have to do so much ear hustling and watching and sneaking to a group of people who are inferior. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I always want us to understand that part. We are that important that people go to sleep with us on their mind and they wake right back up with us on their mind. And always understand that part too. Oh my goodness. See, that's where you talk about fatigue, because The fatigue is them doing it to themselves. They're driving
Mhm.
themselves into depression because the thought of them being ignored
Mhm.
even bothers. I'll give you a prime example. Yesterday, me and my wife were in the store, and I love doing this because sometimes she'll be over here and I'll just kind of be off. I'll just because I know how people are. So
Mhm.
watch this white dude just starting to mosey on over there. It's like he's just kind of crowded space. And now he has to recognize, oh, he's with her. So yeah, I'm just standing right there. As I was watching what you were about to do, now I want you to crowd me. And then he said, oh, well, we need, well, you want some chicken breast? He decides then to go around me and walk over to stand in front of them folks at the butcher at the little stand. Like, okay, now he's gonna get some chicken. You thought he was gonna get him something? No, he just had to walk away because we did something else. See, again, this is what I'm talking about, being in the university of white supremacy right here. You can't play with me. Like, I know these people so well, and that's another reason why I'm glad I was able to jump in them spaces for the time I was, to share this type of information with the family to understand. There's a reason why they want you to believe that you're less than.
Mm-hmm.
Because when a person knows that you're better than, the only hope for success is to let you screw yourself.
Facts. I'm gonna be honest with you. I tell people all the time, man, these folks don't even hit that point for me because I know everything in this universe is working against them. The sun, the moon, the stars, and the quasars, all of that is working against them, and they hate it. They hate it to the core, to where now they're trying to steal our identity because they need something to cope with. They need to know how to cope. They're saying they're the aliens now.
Oh my goodness. Well, let me tell you this. This is the one thing also that we have took full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody tries to deny our culture.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody tells you that you guys are low IQ. Mm-hmm. You guys are this, you guys are that, and you're not that smart, and you're the lowest on the totem pole. Okay. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, we are the descendants of American chattel slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what happened? We made that the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Now everybody wants to be tied to being a slave. We used to hear 20 years ago, we were never slaves. We were never slaves. Now, oh, we were slaves too.
Everybody slaves all of a sudden.
Everybody was a slave. I mean, look, if they say, oh, well, black folks don't have culture, let me tell you something. If we just started saying zip zop, and everybody in the space just started saying zip zop, it's going to be on TV in the next month. Mm-hmm. You understand me? So we are that much of we are the culture. So I always want us to walk with our chin and heads up, because this is who you are, Black America. Mm-hmm. The way you tie your shoes is cool. You understand? Like, don't ever let nobody look down and talk down on you. And especially don't talk down on your ancestors, because the truth of the matter is, as dope as we are right now, we do come from slaves that you had oppressed. Mm-hmm. Now, I would ask anybody on earth to challenge themselves in their own community's history to find the lineage that has pulled that off. Mm-hmm. Has there been anybody that went from slavery to one of those descendants having a well-known universal jingle that goes, if I could be like Mike, I want to be like Mike?
Facts. Facts. You ain't seen not one. Not one. I ain't seen no Jamaican jingle. I ain't seen no African jingle. No Brazilian jingle. I ain't heard none. It ain't none. There's none. There's none.
We're looking.
I'm searching far and wide for it. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen nobody who can stand on stage and just make a crowd full of people faint.
For real.
I ain't never seen that. Only one person around the globe has ever done that. Well, I don't say one person, one group of people. James Brown has done it. You know, Michael Jackson has done it. Usher has done it. You know, I don't see Burner Boy getting on stage and all of a sudden people and just falling out.
Not even close. Not even close.
Did you see the Destiny's Child ripoff in Africa? Destiny's Fleers.
Yes.
Like I just can't, man.
Hey, and you know, it's amazing to me, man. I've told the story about my Canadian trip on my broadcast before, and to watch how a lot of these Africans coming over here now are trying to talk about, brother. Listen, I was in Canada and when they thought we was just a few of us, we got the real. So like, and see, you got these, that's why they enlist these entertainers and stars to go over like, look, y'all, look, Black America, this is cool. Yeah, because you're going to a town with $1 million in your pocket. And then, yeah, of course, everybody's there kissing your tail. Right. But, you know, you got the average person over there. They looking at how they can get in our pockets. You understand what I'm saying? So that's not the same thing. We talk about Pan-Africanism over there. Man, how can we align ourselves with a corrupt government that oppresses its own people while being out there? Who are we connecting with? Because the one thing about at least being an American citizen is you have the covering of the United States government. You're over there like, let's go back. See, we got to renounce our citizenship right there. When you start hearing people talk like that, I need y'all to understand, just because that type of notion wears a black face
doesn't make him any less of an op.
Well, it might be a little fitted thing going on around that piece with the money behind it. Because see, again, when we start talking about getting into claiming birthright, notice how everybody now starts talking about, well, where y'all gonna go? And what do you mean? See, so you have to start looking at the economic piece of that as well, on why you start hearing certain things. So when you start hearing, remember, Pan-Africanism is a business. I don't think people look at Pan-Africanism as that. It's a business. So everybody you see in that space are all about business. They ain't none of them doing it for the love of it. They're all making money. They're selling books. They're selling merchandise. They're selling tours. They're selling debates. You know, and these are businesses.
Yeah, one of those, I forget the guy's name, Makaba something, the dude who created Kwanzaa, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I've come in my research to find out that this dude was an op. The dude was funded by the LAPD and he was working with the mayor. So, and he was working with them in order to take down the Black Panthers. So, you know, it's very, very oppish when you really start looking into these people. You start to really check out where the funding for these people come from. It's usually from the government.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest players in this most recent, and she's kind of the liaison to those financial backers, and that's the Jam Woman. I mention this as much as I can. I believe Afro Elite did a piece on her earlier this week. We've been ringing the alarm on this woman for the last 2 years. Anytime you see her attached to anything, It is to undermine reparations because these funding partners are hers, these groups that are Soros and friends. These people want to control the reparations conversation. And see, because all of these reparations groups have become grassroots oriented, it's making it real hard for. That's why you see a lot of these other groups screaming about, we were the first and we've been fighting this long for reparations and we're being undermined. That's why they're upset, because they were put in place to make sure we never get reparations, of course, and then sit out there and just woof and get nothing done. We're not that group. We're the grassroots and saying, hey, we're gonna use our votes as a voice, or lack of votes as a voice of protest. They were telling us how that didn't work. All of a sudden, now it works. We need to find out how we get in touch with these people. But they don't want to. So now they're trying to put in place fake grassroots voices or fake grassroots black politicians to start speaking about our agenda. But all it is more of that same funded opposition, like this Jam woman. And I'm telling you, it's at any time you see her, there is trillions of dollars, there's billions and trillionaires that are behind that, trying to keep Black America from getting reparations.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things when people talk to me about all these reparations organizations and things like that have never done anything for us. When they talk to me about that, I usually tell them, like, okay, how long have they been fighting for reparations? Decades? Why haven't they gotten anything going? We stepped on the scene, and all of a sudden, in a matter of years, not even decades, in a matter of years, reparations have become one of the biggest topics to ever touch the stage, all the way up to the presidential campaign, all the way up to the presidential debate stage. So I asked a very simple question. Why would we derail a train that's working for us, right? The train is on its way to the destination. Why the hell would we derail the train in order to check and see if other people who claim to have been here for decades to do what they're doing, or to give them the opportunity to intervene in what we're talking about? Our sister Brooke out there in New York, she just did a phenomenal broadcast where she was interviewing some people out there who's been fighting for reparations with her. And they was told something along the lines that these politicians in office, these Caribbean politicians and things like that, they would not sign off on reparations for foundational Black Americans unless they got a piece of it.
Right.
That just shows you that not only are we on our own, but we were right for delineating from these Pan-African groups, these so-called reparation organizations and things like that, because these have been the very same people who's been holding us off just because they want a piece of something that doesn't belong to them.
And you're hitting on something that, okay, prime example, the lady from Virgin Islands, Klasick or something like that. Do you know her and Yvette Clarke were co-chairs of the Caribbean Caucus?
Right, absolutely.
Now who is the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus?
Yvette Clarke, yeah.
So she has been showing you what time it is. But what we see now is how that long-term play of getting these tethers into positions of power has always been about a grift. And what's so funny is, let's look at this projection that they have put out there. Who's always screaming about Brother Tariq Nasheed?
Yeah, it's always
being a grifter.
It's always the tethers. Always. You can't go one broadcast without somebody coming in. You are a grifter. You are a grifter, Tariq. Where are you getting your money, Tariq? Tariq, where are you getting your money, Tariq? That museum was a scam, my nigga. That's
now a prime example. Let me touch on a couple things. I'm glad you mentioned the museum. Okay, prime example with the museum. What did we hear? One of the biggest things was we heard from all of the haters that, well, what is Tariq? What do black folks need our own museum for? That's just a hustle. Blah 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 blah. This right? Okay, now fast forward to Trump messing with the African American History Museum, and now I want to know and ask those folks: is it important to have our own museum or not?
Absolutely. And it's hilarious that during the times that we're sitting here, nobody's touching the African American museums across the country or nothing like that.
Right.
We're saying we don't own those museums.
Right.
We don't have stock in those museums. And it makes sense that we have our own institutions. People were sitting here
that exposed it.
Exactly. And people, especially people like Roly Poly Martin, every time we bring something up, this man is saying, "Oh yeah, dumbass fools, you don't need that. We got museums already. We already got hate crime bills. Dumbass fools." always man, I can't take these people serious. Because when we're saying that we need these kinds of things, they're the opposition. And then now that you got somebody that you don't like in the office, now you're running around here talking about, oh, well, Trump's getting rid of these museums and we need these museums. Well, we got our own institution. I don't know what to tell y'all. I'm going to be honest with you. That's how I feel about it. Tariq creating that museum was a beautiful thing. And now I'm like, God dang it, we need banks. We need parks. We need rec centers. We need to build these things so that when they start doing the same thing that they're doing to the museum, we can just sit back and like, so what? We got institutions.
Well, and that's another thing that I see. There's a reason why black politicians have avoided dealing with the grassroots, especially at this juncture, because a lot of us have came up with the answers to their questions. Because a lot of these people, what they have done in the past is say that, well, what would a black agenda look like? And well, what could these black politicians do? Okay, and some of us, I know myself, and say, okay, well, if it wasn't cash reparations right now, if we're still wanting to study and figure out the dollar amounts of that now, we still can figure out how to remedy the other harms and effects from such said slavery. For one example, every black person that is in America that is tied to the lineage should have free health care.
Absolutely.
So that off the rip. Now, some people say, well, they should be tax exempt. I say that's kind of debatable. However, and then that's debatable just based on, I haven't worked those numbers out. But to say what thing you can do is also start funding, just like how Indian reservations have their own hospitals. There need to be hospitals tied to the lineage and that services the needs of this lineage. So it's not a racial thing. It's not based on color. It's based on the lineage to which is tied to the 14th Amendment. So these people, there's another way to even kind of ease the pain. Give us our institutions that are ran and operated by us. So that is something like people all of a sudden start clamming up when you start bringing out these other suggestions of programs that need to be focused specifically on the lineage. And so now that's why they're running out all of these black politicians to start saying, well, I got to talk about the importance of the illegal immigrants. No. But why? Because they don't want to get into repairing Black America. And repairing Black America, I think one of the biggest things is health insurance and health care and giving us our own healthcare institutions. That is from, because, okay, well, here's another thing Democrats always talk about and been talking about for the last 30 years. Infant mortality rate. Dr. Khalil Muhammad had a lecture in 1990 where he's talking about infant mortality rate then amongst Black women. That's 1990. This is 2025. And we still got these politicians coming out. We're going to address it. You've had 30 years to do it, but you won't. So we need these institutions to happen. But see, what happens then to these Black Democrats if we start having institutions that ease our sickness in America? It starts alleviating the need for empty suits and talking heads in these positions, i.e. Black faces in high places. No, so they work against us.
You're absolutely correct on that, my brother, especially, and I tell you this all the time, the reason why nothing's getting done in the neighborhoods is because your politician knows if you get things done, then there would be no need for you. What do you need me for? If reparations get paid tomorrow, we don't need any Black representatives. Well, we'll need them, but we'll be able to build our Black representatives. We'll be able to put in the people that we want to put in order to represent them. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And that is absolutely the core of why you don't see any real Black politicians trying to do anything for their neighborhoods besides tell them, like Maxine Waters did, to go home when they don't have a home, even though y'all giving homes to these illegals. I can't stand a lot of these folks, especially coming from Los Angeles, knowing people like Maxine Waters. I stayed in her district for a while, and she had never done anything for Black Americans. Really, she shows up when things get rowdy to calm Black Americans down. That's been a lot of these politicians' jobs. The same thing with Sheila Jackson Lee before she passed away. Her job was to pop up whenever we had an issue. When we protested for George Floyd, Sheila Jackson Lee popped up. That was the first time that I met Sheila Jackson Lee. And the reason why I was on her head so much is because I was supposed to do an interview with Sheila Jackson Lee. She told me to get in contact with her, the publicist for her. I get in contact and they never contacted me back. So every time I seen her, I was asking her the questions that I was going to ask her in the interview. When she was running for mayor, I'm asking, who's going to fund Black Houstonians? Nobody else there wanted to talk about Black Houston. I'm the only person at that whole damn debate that she had with Whitmore who stood up and started yelling out, who's going to fund Black Houston? Right. And neither one of them said anything. As a matter of fact, the person who was running the debate, she ended up saying, no, we're just going to cut it here. We're going to cut it here. Because when you start talking about Black issues, that's when people want to stop talking. And then every time I did get a chance to get an answer from Sheila Jackson Lee, she always came with that, as you well know. As you well know. I'm like, I don't know anything, Miss Jackson. I need you to explain this to me. Why is it that you have all these illegals and you guys are able to give them funding, housing, walking around change? They get driver's licenses and they don't even have birth certificates here. How are they able to get all these things? But yet when it comes to Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, to be more specific, as you well know, we got to get people to understand. Y'all didn't get people to understand anything when it came down to these illegals. So that was one of the major reasons why I was on Sheila Jackson Lee's head before she passed away. And now her daughters took her place. So I'm going to have to get on her daughter's ass. Right. That's just what it is.
Real talk. And you know what's crazy I'm seeing about Houston is, going back to, I remember when everybody was moving back to Atlanta. And it's like, okay, understand, like this kind of move has been done before. And now you see those areas to where everybody was gravitating towards have now been gentrified. People being priced out of Atlanta and now you're seeing a big growth in Houston. So I find it odd that you want to avoid, because people understand these the way they gentrify, these are planned out well in advance. So these politicians knows these moves are coming down the pike. So knowing that, okay, well, what can we expect to Houston? Well, you're going to get a huge influx of Black folks. So when you start talking about, well, what are we going to do about Black Houston? Well, they understand you're going to start getting an influx of Black folks coming from Georgia too. So they want to avoid that question at all costs, because the agenda is to flood the zone with illegals. So they can't get caught on the record having no conversation about what they're going to do for Black folks in Houston, because Black folks in Houston also going to be some transplants from Georgia as well. So as Houston, because what do I always hear now from my folks down there is that people are coming to Houston. Houston's the new Atlanta.
Yeah. A lot of people from California, a lot of people from Vegas is out here now. I've seen some people move out here from New Mexico, not New Mexico, excuse me, Arizona. A lot of folks is moving out from Arizona. Yeah. They're definitely making moves to Texas. I'm gonna be honest with you. Texas, the cost of living is pretty cool, but now with more and more people moving out, that cost is going to go up. Absolutely,
man. And that's, I kind of wish I would have moved to Texas sooner. But because right now, Texas still is my end destination. My wife's from Texas, family still down there, whatnot. But needless to say, I don't know, man. At the time when I'm actually going to look to make that move, the price is going to be damn near the same. It's like, what? I thought I was going to get a bang for my buck. I guess I can stay put. But I hope that it doesn't happen that way, and I hope that more folks get more vocal on the political scene down there versus, because I'm gonna tell you for real, man, there is no excuse for ever getting Jasmine Crockett elected down there. How the hell is this woman from, and now granted that's not Houston, but how is this woman from St. Louis a Texas representative? That is so confusing.
And got in unopposed.
Okay. See, now everybody won't want to talk about that. And now I'm like, has anybody looked at how she got here? As I asked people, hey, can anybody get me a campaign flyer for when she got her job in Texas?
I ain't seen one.
No. There's not one.
I've never seen
searched
one.
IMO. No, she just walks right on in it. Oh, I'm gonna resign. I got this lovely young lady here. She just walked in the door. You guys just need to usher her in. And you know what? There's not going to be a Republican to even run against her.
And now the one that they trying to run against her, who is it, Sheldon Daniels? He went from reparationist to non-reparationist. It's just a lot of flip-flopping going on. I don't like flip-floppers, you know what I'm saying?
No. Yeah. I'm like, okay. As soon as he did that move, I'm like, okay. But this... because I was wondering if he was legit or if he's just kind of being pushed out there to be kind of cannon fodder for her to kind of have an easy win. Because he comes out like, let me come out, piss off the Black grassroots and make myself unlikable. I see that was way too calculated. I just look at that as kind of a political move to ensure that she still continues to be unopposed. Now, oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. He did say that he was partially responsible for helping her get in there. So, I do see that could be a case. That could be the issue.
That makes total sense. Oh, and before I forget, the other part of how she got her job in Washington is, wow, lo and behold, the exact same thing. So another woman, wow, guess it's time for me to retire. And, I propose the lady that's sitting in Texas, I want her to take this job. And so guess what? She runs, has a really lightweight. She has a little quick runoff. And then she beats that. They make it kind of look good. And then she runs, and that's how she gets it. Folks really truly believe that she is not handpicked. This woman is handpicked, y'all. That's why she don't even know how to brush her wig down right. She's still out here with these crazy lopsided wigs. And the reason why I believe that, I believe this girl was a goth girl. I believe she's a former goth girl.
Not Snuffleupagus.
Oh, absolutely. I think she's a goth girl. You know how you got these like black rockers? Because she's so out of sorts. And the one thing, her biggest claim to fame is literally a phrase from Tariq Nasheed. That's what was crazy. Because it's something that he was talking to one of them, the repeat white woman caller that he would have from time to time. And so that's who,
Monica.
Like that's who the was it the blonde butch body or whatever? That's her. Yeah, that's her. And that literally came from Tariq Nasheed. Then that's when if you go back and watch her do that, she literally looks up at somebody in the audience to make sure that, like, was that right? I'm like, come on, man. This is where we at with it. And so, yeah, I look at her as an actress. And she also got the Soros connection. The funny part about her, though, is notice how nobody ever mentions the fact that she was with the Bitcoin crook. That was her first big backer.
Oh,
the dude that stole all them folks' money from Bitcoin. Yeah, that was her first backer.
Yeah.
So she's a heavy writer on the what's our brother say? He called them the real estate agents. She's a real big writer with the real estate agents.
She also what is it? She also have a YouTube page. You can tell she out here trying to get her little fame going. Yeah, she out here doing these little TikTok dances. Come on, man. Off rhythm, off beat. Everybody with her is off rhythm and off beat.
She has no swag. So I'm like, dude. When I seen her, I'm like, okay. Look at some of her old stuff. She tells you that she was from the drama department. I'm like, oh, word. Oh, come on, man. Now, growing up, what type of men do the black girls in the drama department date?
White boys, some Mexicans, golfish. If you are black at the drama department, you got to be one of those nerds. Yeah.
And like you just said, gothish, because the whole wearing the wig thing and the lashes, that ain't natural for her, because that's why when she sets it on, she just leaves it big. There's no meshing it down. Like, man, I mean, Kamala Harris can do a better black woman than she can. That's a terrible situation.
That is horrible. That is horrible. You got Kamala Harris cosplaying better than you, and you actually got black skin, girl. If you don't go pay somebody in the hood to get that wig right, I don't know what's wrong with you.
My wife just hit me to it yesterday. She was like, wait till she turn her head. Look.
And why is it always a side part? I don't understand. Why is it always a side part?
Oh my Lord.
She's wearing the wig, but it's tilt. You know how we tilt our hats? She's tilting her wig.
I'm like, yo, that is so crazy to me. And we got this sister here. No shade, sister, no shade. But we got this sister here that's on the news that has kind of the same issue with her wigs. And I don't think somebody taught her how to cut that front part off, because it's just supposed to be lace here, but she leaves the band. So it'd be like the lace front, but you see this black band just right around the front. No. and so, but that's what I'm saying. I'm used to seeing these types. So when I see Jasmine Crockett, it's like,
what the hell are you doing?
I'm from the Pacific Northwest. I know what the drama department black girls look like now. Come on,
Oh,
Black
my
Spider,
God.
Black Spider in the chat. Black Spider in the chat. Come on now. We from up this way. We know what they look like.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me salute to the chat, man, because I usually when I have a guest on, I don't salute the chat out until the end. But I want to give a B1 salute to everybody in the chat on both broadcasts. I know you're also streaming on your side, family.
Yes,
The thing about Jasmine Crockett, though, the one thing that I can say, they're doing an awful job at presenting her as the next to be. And there's a lot of people. Did you hear? I forget the guy's name. He just became like the co-chair of the DNC. Young guy.
Oh yeah. The Latino dude.
Yeah. So this dude goes on the Breakfast Club, and he's like, "Yeah, Jasmine Crockett, she's the best. She's great. She's going to be the next leader in the Democratic Party."
Word.
If y'all hedging y'all bets on Jasmine Crockett or AOC or Bernie Sanders, you're going to have a rude awakening in 2028 and 2026. I'm just going to be 100 with you. I'm being 100.
Wow. You know, and I'm going to tell you like this. I believe Jasmine Crockett is correct. When she did mention the fact that she got that they have what they know. They got the white dude that they want. I guess he's safe and clean. Now, I can't help but notice none of the major outlets are even kind of floating names out there of who that could possibly be. But one thing I will say, the Republicans are sitting in a really good spot because they literally don't even have to start campaigning for J.D. Vance yet. In most scenarios, you're going to have to do that. But right now, nah. They could just ride and let Trump kill these next few years. And Democrats are still, they're going to have to figure something out for 2026. They're acting like they can just sleepwalk it through. And I'll tell you one reason that shows you the Democrats actually have more problems than what they want to let people understand. And the first thing is, let's go to the state of Georgia. In the state of Georgia, they were talking about Stacey Abrams possibly running for governor again.
Good luck with that. I'm sorry.
in the same time, though, guess who literally actively throws her head into the race? Keisha Lance Bottoms.
No.
So this tells me right now that there is war amongst factions in the Democrats, even on the black side.
Especially on the black side.
And that's saying a lot. So I'm interested to see how things are going to start playing out with them, because even with the dude that you just mentioned, the little he's another tether. He's another dude that also mentioned America's founded by immigrants. And he's the one that actually mentioned the Statue of Liberty. He said the Statue of Liberty is a symbol of immigrants. And I said, that's not what them shackles at the feet represent, brother. And for those of us, I learned in school, and I'm up here in the Pacific Northwest, what I learned in school is why we got the Statue of Liberty was a gift from France commemorating the ending of slavery. And that white folks taught us this up here. So I don't know how these people start coming to this country and then start talking. The Statue of Liberty is a symbol of immigration. No, it ain't. No, it's a symbol of us actually being free. And then, when you go into the other symbolisms of, what they believe in, the faces, and that's another story. But again, would still kind of circle back to melanation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even that the Statue of Liberty, isn't it like green?
Mm-hmm.
So it goes back to the oxidation of melanation, and it's just
it's
correct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it's these people here, they're just going to have to understand that we are tied to the soil. We are home, not our original home, of course. But as far as, and this is my thing, if you're going to say we're Africans, then everybody on the planet are Africans.
Mm-hmm.
Go bug the Chinese, go bug the Japanese, go bug the Australians, go bug all of those people over in Iran and India. And, hey, all of y'all come from here too. Yep. We need pots. So, I mean, you know what I mean? Go to them, because if that's the case, everybody comes from Africa originally.
My brother just came back from East Africa. I'm trying to remember which place he went to, but he was saying that there's a lot of confusion when it comes to Africa and the origins of the world, because some Africans say that everybody comes from Africa, and the science shows that as well. But from what my brother was being told when he went over there, they was telling him that they come from us on this side of the globe. And so it's very interesting dynamic to hear people say, "Oh, we're from y'all. Y'all are the originators, and we're from y'all." And I was like, when he told me that, I was like, that sounds okay. Maybe they talking about Pangea. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that one now, that could be a kind of a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But to be real about it, when you start looking at like dinosaurs and dinosaur remains, woolly mammoth remains, like especially the woolly mammoth, you finding them up in Seattle. Like, there's all kinds of things that have been found up here. And so in America, there's been a that's like America is one big huge archaeological site. There's all kind of dinosaur bones found right here in America. One thing also to note, if we look at what history has taught us about dinosaurs, they were washed away by fire with a bunch of volcanoes. Well, if you look at America has 173 active volcanoes. So, there's probably some history there.
Including the ones that's under the water. We got so many that's in the ocean. That's ridiculous. As a matter of fact, I was watching a news article the other day, and they were talking about this. It says like a century-old volcano getting ready to erupt, and it might cause over 50 earthquakes in one day or something like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so
I can see that. I mean, I've lived through one volcano. That's Mount St. Helens. That's the one above ground, and then out here in the Pacific Ocean, all down the damn coast. One just erupted. And then there's the one that's closer to y'all. Your old stomping grounds. But down in the California way, that's the one they talking about might. And there's already earthquakes already starting. So I'm assuming that that's probably going to blow pretty soon. Because something that, if you guys are ever around an earthquake or around a volcano that's about to erupt, one thing that you will know before it actually erupts is it's going to be a series of earthquakes. So if you guys start having earthquakes back to back, look to where the closest mountain is near you, because something's something's awry, and the earth will give you some warning signs. And the earthquakes is a warning sign to say, "Hey, see that big ass mountain right there? It's time to start packing and getting away from it."
Yeah. So to all my folks out in Cali, please go and get your earthquake equipment. If you ain't if you ain't got it yet, go and get some stuff prepared, get you some water, get everything that you need. Just make sure you're safe, because trust me, hearing 50 earthquakes in a day, like the most that I've been in, I think it was like 3 earthquakes in one day. And that was in the 90s. Right, it was a very large earthquake, and I was in school at the time. Like, and it was a scary situation. I thought the world was about to end, especially with me being in middle school, like a young kid. Like, I was like, oh no, God is done. The Most High is fed up.
Right? For real.
I'm like, Lord, please just let me get home.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is an experience, man. You know, like when St. Helens blew, we had all them earthquakes here, and like that thing blew up, and just to see, like, you go outside and look to the north and just see this big smokestack just blowing up in the sky. And one thing that for anybody who's ever around anything like this, do not stay outside too long. If you want to get your looks and get your pictures, get them, but get indoors, because it's basically like a if you had a fire going on in your house, it's basically like that, just blowing out of your fireplace. So all of that ash is not just ash. Some of them are hot embers. They just look like ash. That stuff will land and catch straight fire. So yeah, that I learned that as a little kid, but that is something I will never forget. It looked like snow, like this inside when you get snowed in. It was that much. It's just sulfur smelling ash.
I can't even imagine. That's why a friend of mine wanted me when we were like 20, 22, around that age. He was like, man, we should move to Hawaii, man, and just enjoy I said, nope. Too many volcanoes, open volcanoes. I'm not, no, hell no. We ain't doing it.
I won't even,
I won't even go there to visit right now. Like you like you ain't. No, I mean, no. I got a lot of places in America that's beautiful. If I want to go on vacation, right? Even though Hawaii is a part of America, that's a little bit too. Like I said, I won't even go on a goddamn cruise ship. So I ain't going to no damn Hawaii. I just want to.
Yeah. You know, and brother, I got to say on that cruise ship wave, I used to be exactly the same mind state. Except until the last few years.
You just been cruising, huh?
No, I still haven't been able to make a cruise yet, but my fear has left. And I think maybe being up in the Northwest for so long, because everybody like, well, you can just go to Seattle and take an Alaska cruise. Nah, I gotta see some sun. I gotta see some sun. I want to be
to the Caucasus of the country.
Yeah, man, because I'm already up here. I can see rain, and I'm like, nah, I'm cool. Going north just is not appealing to me. Like, oh, let's just go north. Like, nah,
I don't want to go nowhere that the sun don't shine for 30 days. I'm cool on that. I'm cool. I need a whole damn month. I'm a sun guy. We're sun people.
For real. For real. You know what I've been getting turned on to though, is the all-inclusives. So, that Mexico trip might that might end up being a weekend trip sooner than later.
Cancun.
Well, no, on the West Coast, they got the what's that? Mazatlan.
Oh yeah.
Go on down there and enjoy for all inclusive for a weekend, and come back home and get back to it. Get back to the donuts.
Well, family, I want to give you the stage. I want you to rip it up, do what you do as you do it. as only you can do, you know. And I, like I said, I gotta give my appreciation, because usually the interview portion segment usually don't go as long, but I have my brother here, so I got to talk to you for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So family, I'm gonna go ahead, and you want to share your screen, you put that on, and I'll leave it to you, family.
All right. And so, family, you know, and once again, shout out and much appreciation to our good brother here, the Church of Black Power. Man, appreciate you. And, you know, everybody out there, you know, I think if you guys are new to me, you should be able to tell one thing about me is what you see is what you get. I'm definitely not an actor. I'm definitely not paid by the powers that be. And one thing that is important to me is that all of us understand our own importance and our position and place in society and in this world. One of the things that they have always tried to do to us is make us disappear, because the one thing about our ever being present is that it's a consistent reminder of everything that people that come here and people that who were here can say how great they are. They always have to look over at us and remember we built it. Success on a global scheme is impossible to achieve without us. Now, with that being said, when we all get together, funny things starts happening. We subsequently start needing outsiders less and less. And that's something that America has often fought against. Society has often fought against. Although they have spent so much time trying to tell us that we ain't crap. Well, we have obviously proved that to be untrue. And here we are today, moving forward as the grassroots. The people, this is literally just a movement of the people, for the people. And the code is the leader. I'm not the leader. I'm just a voice. I'm just an instrument. I'm just a part. All of these other people, they've tried to scapegoat our movement in funneling into people are following one person. Well, then that doesn't explain how so many men and women of adult age and child raising, and a lot of us have grown children, but all of a sudden we have grown all of this time just to listen to the voice of one individual. That's not true. Because even still, the voice of that individual or any individual is still the voice of the people. So now they could cry about Tariq Nasheed all day long. Why? Because he holds spaces every day. To do what? To once again show the world that megaphone, the voice of the people. I hope that's one thing that when you see all of us and hear all of us going back to our spaces with the Certified Truth, my brother Black Alpha Network, we always wanted to make sure that you guys leave feeling rejuvenated and most importantly, feeling inspired, because we are all we got. So if we are not here to encourage one another, what are we going to do? The alternative is be indifferent or work to tear each other down. Now, of course, we do see those things amongst us. That is just natural and a part of human beings' life. But I believe that we have the opportunity to rise above all of these things, because I don't look at the cancer as being the root. We have to find out what's the root of the cancer. And the root of the cancer is not how we react or how we respond. It is what we are reacting and responding to, and the condition that puts us in that state of mind to begin with. So that's why I always want to begin with us. Our standard has to always begin with our own presence of mind to represent the code in integrity and honor and truth. Representing the code is simply that. Enforcing Black empowerment. Being an instrument and voice of Black empowerment. One of the major things that we can do, which is a banner of Black empowerment, reparations. Mm-hmm. And all of the things that go along with reparations as a program, as a cash payment system, and then getting into what it actually means. It is to repair. It is to acknowledge the harm done. If that can be done to any other group that has incurred less damage than we, then there is no reason that we should ever accept anybody telling us what we shouldn't be asking for or demanding. And in this case, it's past the demand. Reparation is owed. Look at that debt as your IRS debt. Which one goes away? Neither. Because every soul that died on a plantation is a murder victim. And we are the offspring. So restitution should still be paid since there's no statute of limitations. There's nothing to get over, other than the fact that American government, the United States government, has to pay reparations because it is owed to the people who have in fact established global capitalism. That is foundational Black American freedmen. No other group on earth has been able to pull that off. And so remember, when people try to say what you're not, tell them to tell you what avenue could they ever have success that didn't involve us. I think that would be the very, very hard answer for them to find. And then they'll probably just gaslight you and deflect and say, what about Black on Black crime? I guess you didn't say that about George Floyd. But these are things that you can expect from low-life nobodies who have nothing better to do than to keep you on their mind. And the reason why we are on their mind 24/7 is because how great each and every one of you are. Just being your cool Black self. You can enjoy yourself and have peace and even enjoy in the midst of adversity. People envy that. You could get together and laugh with your friends in the midst of turmoil. It's calamity. Why are you guys happy? They don't understand because they don't have what we have. And I think that's that part that I hope everybody remembers. Tap into that old school thing, that intangible thing, that thing that's in here. The one thing that connects each and every one of us. We can go back to what connects our grandparents and our great-grandparents and them to their great-grandparents. I'm fortunate enough to have the old heads around to tell me about their grandparents and these people who were just leaving the plantation. We have a great, rich history, and we are the representation of their resilience. We are to honor at all times the history of our ancestors in this country whose blood and bones are in this soil. Don't ever let anybody tell you that is somehow dishonoring your Blackness to overlook your ancestors. Because, see, here's the thing. You have the most that you owe, each and every one of us, to those bodies and bones that are in these plantation cemeteries. I don't know anybody in Africa. I don't know who to pay homage to on the continent. But I can pay homage to these people who we know we come from right here in America. And I don't think I should feel ashamed of honoring that, nor should you. So in closing, I just want to say, Black folks, I love each and every one of you. I hope that you love yourselves too. We are the best thing on the planet Earth. And this thing that we call our community is the big Lowrys of the planet. Salute to each and every one of y'all. Y'all stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black.
Family, let me pull myself back up here, brother. I appreciate you hundredfold.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you too, man. This has been a pleasure, man.
Now,
absolutely.
I want to know, can we rock a little bit longer? I want to drop the link just in case any of the family want to come up and might have a question for you or just want to give you your flowers.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and drop the link, family. Also, family, I usually say this at the beginning. Salute and shout out to everybody who's donated. All donations will be going over to our brother BeatZilla upon payout. So shout out and salute to C. Terry for your donation. Your contribution is blessed tenfold. Also, Black Spider, your donation is blessed tenfold. Thank you for your contribution. And our brother, We Up Next DSB, thank you for your contribution. And also, thank you for being a member, my brother. Now, let me go ahead and drop this link for you guys, and we can go ahead and give you the opportunity to come on up.
Yes, indeed.
And there you go. Let me go ahead and start. All right, man. The reparations conversation is getting deep. You know that, right? It's getting deeper because you mentioned how people are going around bringing up things like George Floyd and all this other stuff when we're talking about compensatory justice. However, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Like, when I was raised, we can multitask. That's always been a thing for me. So when people is always, well, what about George Floyd? I'm like, well, what about the dinosaurs? What about Pluto? What about the sun spinning on its axis? It doesn't matter. Reparations is something old, and you will pay what you owe. Every single time I have a conversation with someone and they start bringing up, what about this? What about that? What if the sun say, you know what, screw it, I'm about to end it all. So what else? Everything that these people do in order to try to move away from the conversation, all it does is pull me closer and closer back to it.
Yes. and that's, it's a tactic of distraction, because, the one thing, that's how you're on to something. The more that people tell you to like, hey, stop talking about that. And, because they don't want it to, again, we are the founders of movements. So this conversation literally is reparations. And then you chase that up with, okay, did anybody notice something that just happened earlier this week? There was something called the American Music Awards that took place. Now, guess who should have probably won, of course, every hip hop, which would have been Kendrick Lamar. Somehow, though, Kendrick Lamar loses to Eminem.
Oh God, I can't stand these people. I can't
And so I just want y'all to understand, from the Super Bowl to the Grammys to also the next BET Awards, I guess the American Music Awards said, yeah, you know, all of that black stuff is cool, but man, I still feel some kind of way about no whites being in the halftime show. So let's give this to Eminem. And you know, because who Eminem, who even knew he had a record? And he's not being played on any medium, but yet and still, you mean to tell me there's a bigger song than that?
The biggest song of the year.
I mean,
and then turned around and dropped the biggest album of the year. Like, I don't understand that. Like, well, I do understand it. It's white supremacy. But
there you go.
Let's get to our first brother. Our first brother up right now is our brother Marvin C. Thank you for coming up, my brother.
All right. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you fine, family.
All right. Hey, church, I apologize to you and to the rest of the chat and to BeatZilla PDX as well. I came in way late. So I'm not going to be long. I just had a main question for BeatZilla, which was, are you on Twitter X? And is this yours? And if you are, is this the same handle that you use on Twitter X?
On Twitter X, I am BeatZilla PDX.
Okay, cool. And so I came in way late. I heard you talking about earthquake, so I take it you a West Coaster?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. You Cali or Oregon?
No, I'm
or
up in Portland.
Oh, okay. Now I threw up in the chat too, so I'm a little older. I remember I was about 5 years old when that 1971 Silmar earthquake happened down here in the LA area. I grew up in Long Beach. Yo, it rocked our house. I mean, I remember the house just teetering back and forth from the earthquake wave. So, I mean, from the shaking, and I know closer to the epicenter obviously is going to be more damage, but I don't remember. Like I said, I was only about 5. But anyway, though, that was the main thing I just really wanted to hit you up with was the Twitter X handle, and you got to follow, man. For what I heard, peace, reparations, and now, and thanks church for hosting, and thanks BeatZilla for being on, and I'm a cede my time.
All right, my brother. Thank you for coming up.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
My brother Marvin is a very good brother there.
Yes,
Next
sir.
up, we got another good brother coming up. We got our brother Jesse Paris.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you for being here, brother. How you doing, brother? Salute to you.
Hey, peace from the Mile High City.
Oh yeah, got a lot of family out there.
Rocky Mountain West in the building. West
Yes,
salute to the chat. Salute to you, church. Salute to BeatZilla. Hey, I was listening to your story, and we got a very similar story, brother. Like, I got started around the same time during Trayvon Martin, as a matter of fact. That's when I started my YouTube channel. I'm heavy in the activism circles out here in Colorado. Like I said, we got a similar story. I grew up militant as well. I'm a Black Panther Cub. My father was one of the founders of the Black Panther chapter here in Denver. And my grandmother was a Black Panther in Brooklyn, New York. So,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, hey, brother, you said you in Denver, right?
Yes, sir.
You know William Witzel Park?
That name sounds familiar.
That's the it's the park that's named after the first Black child born in Colorado.
Oh yeah, yep. Oh
yeah, that's my family.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what's
I
up.
got a lot of family out there in Denver.
All right. Yeah, I'm in the Northeast right now, Northeast Denver, 5 points exact.
Yes, sir.
The Harlem of the West.
The Harlem of the
West.
West.
Around, yeah, my aunt's right around there, brother. Yeah, I know exactly where you at.
call it the East Side. But yeah,
Yes, sir.
I got a YouTube channel as well, Frontline Black News. Been around for about 5 years.
Mhm.
Church has been on there before. Showed us much love, so we appreciate it. We got a whole Frontline campaign, several platforms. My question is, I know that at one point in time, you and Sincere Love to God weren't seeing eye to eye. Where y'all get that squash? Because I would hate to see, you know, signal boosters and new black media voices beefing with each other.
Well, you know, as far as that, I can't really say that me and him legitimately had a beef.
Okay.
That was more or less a person in the middle.
Okay.
That was kind of misrepresenting, I believe, both him to me and me to him. And so after that, in an attempt to actually get that conversation, it didn't really happen. So, but there's no, you know, there's no ill will. As a matter of fact, put it to you like this: I left that where it was, and because it was never a thing that was public. That was a behind the scenes thing, but he just decided to do the whole public thing with it.
Okay.
So I just left that where it is.
Yeah, because I've been on his platform too as well. I know his uncle. He used to own an African shop out here called the Kente Express. That's where we get all our African gear from. It's
Right.
sold to somebody else, but it's still black owned. So
right. Well, you know, see, that's the thing. Also, like I know there's other like connections between folks. So, you know, again, I to avoid the whole beef thing, that's why I never really make private stuff public. That type of stuff should be handled off of the script. That situation never should have been public.
right.
So again, that's the kind of way I conduct myself. I can't control what others will do, but you know, as you know, I like I said, I leave stuff like that for where it is. I know people follow folks, so they draw up in their minds their own conclusion. But no, there's never been no real legitimate beef. We have never really worked with each other. So again, that is a go-between person that's a whole nother story.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's all I had. Appreciate you having me on Church of Black Power.
All day,
appreciate
family.
it, brother.
Thanks for coming up. And that's another thing. Let me be clear on this too. You know, in the spaces that we're in, not everybody's going to get along.
Right.
As long as people are following the code, you don't have to get along with a person. I'm not going to go and speak ill will of anybody that might not like me, because the fact of the matter is it doesn't affect me that much.
Right.
You know, what does affect me is how the movement moves. And so I understand, like there's going to be some bickering sometimes, trust me, because not everybody, we're 45 plus million.
Right.
45 plus million people aren't always going to agree,
Right.
you know, and we all have our own minds. We all have our own lives, you know, so it's always going to be a situation at some point where somebody's going to disagree with someone else. It doesn't always have to be brought into a situation. It doesn't always have to be spoken about, because of the fact that if you care about the movement, you care more about preserving the movement than you do about getting the nonsense out.
Okay, and you know what? And I'm glad, actually. Let me cover something real quick. And this just for anybody that wants to be in these spaces, because again, it's new, and I understand. Every now and then, a person may feel, okay, I have this platform and I have this beef with this person. I would ask anybody to first evaluate what the situation is, and then what is the necessity of your private situation being public, and then how does that public situation affect the movement? And so when again, people have done this type of thing against me before, especially with this one. And it's more or less a person was doing damage control because, again, of all of the stuff that they were doing. again, I'm not the type of person that is so personally concerned about let me get my get back. Again, I'm movement first. And, so some people, hey, man, this person's up here saying this and that about you.
Okay.
I mean, because at the end of the day, family, I want y'all to understand something really seriously here. Do you know you don't really know anybody off this internet? If somebody on here is talking about you, that it got you so bothered in your, have you seen these people in real life? Hey man, my life ain't that. So if that, like, I guess for some people, like, I gotta say something. And again, also controversy gets clicks and views. So there's the thought and thinking for some, maybe they're trying to boost their profile. So, hey, let's get this back and forth going. I don't do that. Number one, I'm from the West Coast. Back and forth stuff don't go on out here.
That's it.
We don't do that. So it's like, I know people be thinking, you from here out here, you understand exactly what I'm saying.
Absolutely. There's not a lot of talking when it comes to the back and forth. If it's that serious, there ain't gonna be no talking.
Thank you. So, like, I'm not beefing with you, and on top of that, we don't have no, like, there's no inner conflict. Like, you ain't disrespect my mama and got my woman pregnant. I ain't, I'm not living like that. It is not that serious. So I would hope that people don't buy into that stuff too much and be like, man, this person really don't like that person. Come on, man.
My whole thing about that, my brother, is I want us to be very careful about gossiping, the gossip situations, because what that does, it tears down your movement. You get what I'm saying? When I was on TikTok, and I got to tell this story, I was very big on TikTok for a while. They deleted 3 or 4 of my pages, after like 10,000 followers and all this other stuff, because all I promote is Black unity. I promote Black love, but I also call out those tethers. So now I'm on my 5th and 6th page. Okay. But during my time on TikTok, I established a group of people that I rocked with, you know what I'm saying? And we called ourselves the B1 family, just what it is. You dig me? The unfortunate thing was that as much support that we was getting from people, we had a lot of hatred too. We had people coming out of nowhere talking about, we're going to destroy B1. B1 got to go and all this other stuff, right? And we used to laugh at those things. But as I started to move away from TikTok, because TikTok kept blocking and banning my pages, I stopped really posting on TikTok. So I stopped really giving my attention to TikTok, because I wasn't going to, give you my attention and you blocking my pages, and so I leave. And when I do end up going back to TikTok, everybody that I was in this group with, this circle, it's become like a drama-filled situation to where they were dating each other, and now one brother that I rock with don't rock with the other brother because they both was dating the same chick or talking to the same girl that we was rocking with. Like, and these are the things that I truly hate to see. You know what I mean? And one of the things that's continuing the notion is everyone running around spreading what was happening behind scenes where nobody should even be spreading it. We used to sit here and strictly talk politics and how our people need what we need, and we had topics that really addressed the situation in our communities. And I to go back and hear all these rumors back and forth, and it just, it's disheartening. It destroyed me when I saw it.
Well, yeah, but this is my thing, and I say it often, and this is why I stress for everybody getting out of those back channels. And this is another thing that I've told to other content creators. Be responsible with your relationships. See, for me, I've been around the business for since I was 3. So like understanding to conduct yourself in these spaces where you know whatever you're going to do is about to be broadcast on Front Street. You have to conduct yourself in that mind state that every relationship is that. So, and some of us, even myself, I guess we let down our guard and be like, okay, this person's cool. This person's that. But again, at the end of the day, a lot of people have their own agendas. So they'll get in environments and you know that there's a reason, because see, myself, I had to get out of the endorsing business. So because when people take my endorsements and run with it and then, you know, start crapping on me, it's like, okay, I'm not going to put anybody in a position with my resources. You understand what I'm saying? Now when people come verify with me, and okay, that's different. I could co-sign that. But you got the people who come along and the assassins with kindness people. You understand what I'm saying? Because they'll be there and they can hang for a while. But one thing is always going to be for certain: messiness does not have patience. And so eventually you're going to start getting into you got to be mindful of conversations when people start taking you down the road of talking about other people who ain't present. Because these people start instigating things, and this is going to be the exact same person to run back to that other person and say, yo, this is what's going on, and this is what this person said about you. Now, see, for me, my question is this: anybody in this movement, I want to know, why did you have to make that public?
Right.
Because I see a lot of these things go on out here, and I see some of the titles of these spaces, and I'm like, why did y'all make that public? But let me just say something that as church musicians, we got taught early in the game. Don't pray where you stay. And don't lay where you pray. You understand what I'm saying?
I was just gonna say, don't eat where you poop. I learned that growing up.
Good grief. Like, if this is what you in, you don't need, okay, I'm this content creator. You don't need to be banging another content creator. You gonna put yourself in position, because when they get mad at you or you get mad at them, then here y'all both are with the lights and the cameras action. Man, this person ain't this. Let me show you all of their text messages. You look at this here. Come on, man. This is the type of nature. And again, these people, you got to wonder, like I said earlier, they have their own motives, their own motivations. And you have to wonder, are these people really here for the movement, or are they here because this is where the attention is? And a lot of times that's the realness. So I look for the people with staying power. Like, who's really at this and staying at this? Because I hope people take a look at me. I'll take a look at it and keep on ticking. So whether anybody like me or I don't like this, you fell off, cool. Because here's the thing about me: I am authentic. So if you believe a lie about me, I'm good with that. I don't want to convince you, because that means you were comfortable with not getting the whole story. I don't want you around me no way. So no skin off my back, Jack. You know, so I don't think people have matured enough. And I hope that people understand that when you're trying to move in such an important time and an important movement, you cannot interject your own personal feelings in so much so that it bleeds into disrupting other people. I don't want to be in the midst of someone else saying, this is a powerful person that could really be instrumental in the movement, and then they get turned off because you got, you know, these people over here can't keep their stuff in their pants, and everybody, this woman going from this to that and this to that, and now they pillow talking, and you got all of this at the same time, back channel going on, And all of that back channel information and energy, family. We do not need the off script Dynasty meets Dallas. And that's kind of been what's happening. It's a damn Young and the Restless going on in off the beaten path of spaces down the back channels. That's the Young and Restless General Hospital.
That's it.
And it's crazy. So I would advise again, anybody, if y'all in them back channels, leave those groups. If you can't deal on Front Street and we can't all talk, because you already should know how to communicate with your people in public. We don't need we just get on Telegram and let's get on this week so we can really talk. You don't need none of that. This movement, everything right here, what you see is what you get is all you need. The code ain't changing. So what do you need to be in private for?
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'm just for all the things that I've experienced and been around over the years, I just want to see this movement stay the course of where it's going, regardless of the pieces.
You brought up something that's very, very 100% true. You spoke about the attention seekers who are only in the movement because the eyes are on the movement. And as our brother Wild William just said, the conscious movement, it was destroyed the same way. And I remember I was there. I watched it happen. A lot of people, it went from consciousness to conscious whoring to come on, we got to be honest on this. Everything for some reason became about being naked, and they said it was spirituality. I'm like, dude, no, I've seen this, and this is one of the major reasons I'm rarely on camera. When I'm on camera, it's because I got a guest, or there's something very important need to be said, and I need to get eyes on the camera. But for the most part, I don't have my camera on because this movement isn't about me, and I don't want to make it about me at all. Anytime if I do something that's disruptive to the movement, I'm harder on myself than anybody else can be. So my
probably should be too. That's good.
Yeah, and my whole goal has always been, I need to make sure I'm moving in a way that does not mess up the movement. So when it comes to dating, there's so many beautiful sisters in the B1 circle. I could have just ran through them all if I wanted to, but what good would that do the movement? Now I'm causing hurt upon a group of women that I said I respected and I love. You get what I'm saying? So even though I tried my hardest, I had to try my hardest to make sure I didn't, because it feels good to be, what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you got this. It's natural.
It's natural.
But you got to be in control of your little head just as well as your big head. You know what I'm saying? And so even in times where I've been hit on by women in our circles in the groups, I've always just backed up. And I appreciate you, my fine, beautiful sister. And I know you're going to make somebody happy, because one, with me working on my law degree, I think it's selfish to have someone take that time with me to where I'm not going to have the mental capacity to even give you my energy. That's one, but also until I'm prepared to make someone my wife and to move forward, I'm not even looking for it. You know what I mean? I want to stay strictly on what the goal of the movement is. So anytime I see these attention seekers within certain spaces, I already know, okay, this ain't a space for me. I don't need to listen to this. Whenever I'm seeing spaces go on for 24 hours about one person, like how the tethers do with Tariq Nasheed, I know there's a problem. I know there's a problem. These tethers get on there and have whole FBA spaces, and they'll go like a telethon, 24 hours.
For real.
I don't want to sit there and listen to people talk for 24 hours about somebody else because you don't like what the movement is doing.
Right. And that's so crazy to me too. This is my problem. I'm here in Portland, Oregon. I can walk into a room with 100 white men, and I think nothing of it because I'm good. You understand me? So I know I'm very comfortable with who I am. So I mean, this doesn't bother me at all. So these other folks out here that like they play dress up with this, and I've been in this situations where, you know, and hopefully people aren't and don't ever have to be in certain scenarios. Good for you. But some of us are tried and true, and I've watched a lot of so-called, this is what I'm gonna do, fold and run. Now, when it comes down to, man, there's so many of them, yeah. You ain't comfortable with this? Like, this the romp zone out here on the I-5, so we don't give a damn. Now, but watching these other folks come out here with this rah-rah, it's like, my first question is, or almost kind of a dead giveaway, oh, y'all ain't about that. Y'all ain't about that. I could see, yeah, man, because they got so much smoke for other folk that look like them. So you gonna spend this much time talking against another black person? Man, come on. There's not that much energy I could put into hating my brother. To you know, and going back to what the other brother asked me, because I mentioned this in a space about the brother Sincere. This is something I don't have to personally get along with a person's get down, right? But this is a movement. And if it's me and that brother in a situation with them folks, I'm not finna leave him. And that's one thing you can bank about me. You don't have to like me, but this is how I get down. I'm not finna leave that brother. Because oh man, oh yeah, let them deal with it. Nah, that's you a sucker if you think that's okay. And so that's where the integrity part of manhood coming at. I don't have to get along, but I understand I'm a man of my community. So I'm not gonna sit up here and just let you, like, I mean, hell, after that, we might end up becoming the best of friends, because I'm not gonna let you go out like that. And if we got to fly some heads together, that's in our community one of the biggest bonding moments.
Absolutely. Especially if you from LA, you got to throw hands with each other. You out there throwing hands together, you're gonna be friends together all the rest of your life. You remember when we had to get down with them essays over there? Oh yeah, I remember that.
Because hey, we from out here, man. So we tend to roll with people we know what they do. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm used to. So I mean, yeah, I'm never gonna do that. So I would hope anybody that think that, oh, you guys got beef for issues like that, it's really not, man. So at the end of the day, if it's me and this brother and we the only people out there, he could trust that, hey man, it's gonna be both of us. Because I'm not finna leave.
It's not gonna be one or the other. It's gonna be both of us.
It's gonna be both of us. So and I hope that y'all understand that's what this movement needs, and that's what this movement requires.
Integrity.
Absolutely.
That's just what it is. You don't have to always like someone to always love them. And that's the thing about a lot of these people who are trying to get into these spaces and claim to be representing foundational Black Americans or representing B1 in general. You know, I'm noticing there's a few people, and all you have to do is have a few people who look like you not really appreciate what you're doing, and now they don't want to continue speaking the way they were speaking. You know? And I don't care, and I say this all the time, I don't care if I was streaming to 3 people, the message is going to be the same. If I'm streaming to 100,000 people, the message is going to be the same. And I'm not going to waver because I don't feel like people appreciate what I'm doing. It's not I don't do this for admiration. I do this because it needs to be done. And if it's not done by us and we let other people do it, it's not going to get done. And we've been seeing this with policy. We've been seeing this with our reparations. We've been seeing this with just our neighborhoods. When we're sitting here raising up people like Obama, who then turned around and told us when we asked for just specific policy for Black Americans, oh, well, that's not how America works. America works when we're all working together. But yeah, he goes and signs a reparations bill for the goddamn top hat community. It makes absolutely no sense to put all your eggs into these people when we have the power to elevate and bring up our own communities and our own peoples. You know, you brought up fighting with somebody is one of the strongest bonding moments. And I 100% agree. In this fight against the white supremacists, people got to remember that it's still a fight. And we're still out here throwing hands with these folks. And we're back to back doing it. The second that a person, he can turn his back on me, but that still isn't going to stop me from not turning my back on him. There's a big difference between giving you space to breathe and then just walking away. And in this movement, we're not walking away from anybody. Our people deserve to see what our people deserve to have. And we can't just leave that because you have petty squabbles and your ego is too big to understand that the ego can destroy all.
Man, and let me tell you, brother, I've seen you and how your platform's been growing. And what something you just said, which just took me back to a flashback. You said that even if you're talking to 3 people, brother, let me tell you, you had Black Alpha on your channel, right?
Yes, sir.
I was his 9th subscriber.
Wow.
And he was doing his thing with the Alpha Cast. And so he started rolling with that. And I'm like, bro, I know it's going slow for you at this time right now, but man, I'm on it. And I personally believe you gonna be like the next big thing here, like, because you're our Tupac, you're kind of like our DMX. You fulfill that role. And then things started just moving for our brother, and the next thing you see him, I think he's at like 20,000 now. So just and another thing I told him is, you're gonna have to cam up from time to time. You're gonna have to cam up from time to time, brother. Because there was a time they were trying to do the play with, oh, well, is he even a black man or this and that? Like, and me and my brother, we have already seen each other off the camera. So I'm like, yeah, you might need to just make it real for the folks. And as it turns out, it was a benefit. Because people, they enjoy seeing the brother. So it's like, watching, start from making sure that, sincerity is always going to find its ears. So when you're bringing it in sincerity, so whether you're at 1,000, whether you're at 2,000, 5,000, 20, or like Tory and Rain, you're pushing, getting close to the 100. When you are coming in sincerity in this space, and just being your genuine self, it resonates with people. And again, some people's platforms may be bigger than others, but like for me, I know when I hear a voice and a person that has it. And so just looking, I see, how my brother is also taking a strong interest in you as well. I can co-sign that. And say, yeah, man, from what I've been able to observe,
appreciations.
Absolutely, man, and just watching these platforms grow, because like Kid Gravity and like these platforms were small for a long period of time, and then just overnight, bam, blew up. So, but it's because as people started getting familiar with other voices, they start realizing, damn, these people represent me too. So it makes it helps cultivate the community that we need to be presenting to the world. So again, all of us behind these microphones and cameras ain't nothing but voices of the people. We are simply megaphones. We just give it to out of our voice, but it is through y'all spirit to which we are speaking. And I hope that, for myself, that I have represented you well. And I know that my brothers and sisters out here are representing you well. And I am pleased. You know what I'm saying? Like the community that we have been able to fester over, I guess, the last 5 years, that you have like a solid, you could say, black grassroots. And we know that don't mean what they talking about on TV. You understand what I'm saying? And it has so much of a presence that it has affected elections. So, family, give all of yourselves a round of applause.
I'll do it for you.
Hey, nobody can do it better, y'all. No one can do it better. Salute to every last one of y'all.
I'm gonna be honest with you, family. That is one of my proudest moments, was seeing the crash and burn of the Democratic Party. That was one of my proudest moments because so many people didn't understand. I've been screaming it at the top of my lungs for years, even before I started my podcast, that voting is an exchange. You give me your vote, and I will give you a policy for your community.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't
That's
know
how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, I don't know where it became voting as a gift. I was in one of my law classes, and somebody in there, and they were talking about, this was during the time that Joe Biden was getting ready to pardon his son. And I was explaining to the class how foundational Black Americans, we're voting the couch. And I guarantee you, we're voting the couch. Hell, I told Sheila Jackson Lee while they was there to give the school $50 million on an environment grant, and I was asking her about reparations. She's, oh, we're still working on that. And I'm like, if you guys, and I said it in front of everybody in there, there's probably about 50 people there. I'm like, if you guys, and the news was there. So I made sure to get on camera and say that if you guys do not do something for foundational Black Americans, the Democratic Party is going to lose. And I say, you must come with something, policy, reparations, something, or you will lose. And then I had all these people running around here. Y'all know the tethers and the naysayers was like, oh, y'all ain't got that much power. The Democratic Party is always counted on the Black community. Y'all ain't going to turn this year. They messed around and found out. We created the furniture party. And then with the furniture party, we voted for President Couch and Vice President Love Seat. And all of them lost their minds.
Man, I'm telling you, bro, it is a beautiful thing, man. Like I said, people like, how you doing? I can't complain. Because again, who would have thought? You know what I mean? Like, who would have thought that there's so many negative things that was said about our generation. And we literally, the generation bailing out our people, especially the ones that sold us up the river, because, well, this is just the natural order of things, and we don't want to make them people smash, because you know what happens when white folks get mad. We don't give a damn. we from the different generation, baby. I'm sorry, that is not an issue for us.
Hey, I had no problem making white folks mad across the board. I like to see pink turn to red all day. Go ahead,
man. Come on,
go
now. Oh, with the hey, if y'all don't know what that look like.
Oh my God, no, you getting them to give that red face, and the cheeks and the forehead just start shining with the redness. I love that look upon your face. You dig me? That's why I call them unsalted. Nabiscos, because these unsalted Nabiscos, they got many faces, and then that pink face and that red face is the funniest faces. I'm gonna be 100 with you.
Oh, it's classic. And family, it's a sight to see. I just got to say that. I'll never forget this cat. He was messing with one of my bandmates, and my bandmate told me shut the F up. And so he didn't like what he said. I guess he felt that he was a little bit full of that sauce, obviously. Like, you want to go and get yourself somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? But he was like, so when y'all be seeing stuff like they do it in the cartoons and stuff, family, people really do that.
Oh my God, man. My brother, please tell everybody where they can get up with you, how to contact you. Ooh, please give them all your information.
Family, right here on YouTube. You can follow me at you can subscribe. Go subscribe to my channel, which is The Independent Black Voice, right here on YouTube. I also have another channel which is called Zilla Perspectives. Zilla Perspectives is where I talk everything, not politics. That'll be like the popular topics, popular culture topics and stuff like that, even maybe some relationship stuff. But the main channel is The Independent Black Voice. This is where we talk the politics, we talk of the issues and everything pertaining to Black empowerment for foundational Black Americans, aka freedmen. This is what we do right here. So you can follow me there. Make sure you subscribe to both channels, The Independent Black Voice and Zilla Perspectives. And then on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, you can follow me at BeatZilla PDX. That's BeatZilla PDX on all platforms. I am the same handle, and hope y'all subscribe and see y'all there. I will be picking up because I've been busy. Like, we're trying to figure out. Yeah, well, it'll be another break here because also trying to move to a different place. So we gotta move the entire studio, which I anticipate will be we'll have some more pleasant changes. Because again, if you guys are doing this and you want to be in content creation, one thing about this space is you have to invest in yourself. And so if you want somebody to invest in you, you have to first do the investment in yourself. So that means the money.
Yeah. I got a space upstairs that I'm working on right now that, you know, I'll be moving from this space to upstairs with a green screen and everything, but it's taking a little time. It's taking a little time.
Oh, trust me, brother, I understand. Because hey, again, in independent media, we are everything. We are promotion, we are research, and we are the film crew, and we are the editing crew. There is no one else. So for all, just know that that's the type of work that goes into holding these platforms. And so every time you see somebody fire up these cameras and fire up these mics, know that some dedication and focus has went in, and preparation has went into what they're presenting to you. And again, salute to my brother, the Church of Black Power, for having me, man. And salute to all of y'all tuning in today. I appreciate each and every one of you for listening to my voice and looking at my silly face today.
Well, my brother, I appreciate you for being here, and we got many more to come. Trust me when I say that, because like I said, my brother, especially if you're not subscribed to Zilla Perspective, go subscribe, because my brother be touching on a lot of things, especially, you know, what we're going to call the Dochiism that's been happening as of late.
Yes, I got some stuff coming this week on that channel too. So
there's a lot of stuff that's been going on with this Dochiism.
Yes.
But my brother, thank you for being here, my family, and salute to you until the next time. Peace with you, family.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Peace, family. Y'all have a blessed one.
Whoa, family. Another fire, another phenomenal broadcast. our brother BeatZilla came in and rocked the house, and I truly appreciate him. I truly appreciate each and every one of you for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and give some shout outs through the chat. I know it is a lot of folks in here, so I'm just gonna, if I miss you, please charge it to my head, not my heart. Let me get up here real quick. Golly. All right. Salute the Reparations Nation, Miss Niecy, Hurricane Niecy, Jesse Paris, Stolen Ancestors, Andrea Jones, Patricia A. Jones, the Big Black God, William Eric, thank you for being here, family. Yuda Israel, thank you for being here, family. Still Kevin Trees. Torian Reigns Reloaded, thank you for being here, family. Simply Sandra, thank you for being here, family. Let's see here. What else we got? Virginia Pearson, thank you for being here, family. Black Spider, my sister, thank you for being here, family. Rosemary Garber, thank you for being here, family. Give me a second, family. I just want heading through them. There's a lot of them here. Astarte Jones, thank you for being here, family. C. Terry, thank you for being here, family. Buzzer Cam, thank you for being here, family. What's up to our brother Gary Williams, thank you for being here, family. Anita Harrell, thank you for being here, my sister. Priscilla Taylor, thank you for being here, family. And if MD Williams, thank you for being here, family. Trying to make sure I got everybody. RBJ, thank you for being here, family. 225 girl, thank you for being here, family. And Damon Reeves, thank you for being here, my brother. And if I missed anybody in the chat, I am Kiera. Thank you for being here, my sister. FBA Aisha, thank you for being here, sister. I see you popped up down there. Lemonade, thank you for being here, family. Let's see. And if I'm missing anybody, Wow Williams, you already know, my brother. Thank you for being here, family. Y'all, it is popping in this chat day. Marvin C, my brother, thank you for being here. Astarte Jones, making sure I called you. Armageddon, thank you for being here, my brother. Want to make sure I got everybody. Like I said, I appreciate everybody who's here. All right, looks like we got through. All right. And once again, salute to our brother DSB for being a member. Appreciate you. Also, salute to our brother DSB for the 10. Also, salute to Black Spider for the 50. Salute to C. Terry. And also, salute to Aquarius Minded and everyone who did the Cash Apps. I don't have the Cash App screen up. But for everybody who sent the Cash App, thank you and blessings to you on that as well. Now, family, I love having our family on the first Sundays. It's becoming one of my favorite segments to do, because I'm able to not just pay homage and show love to people who I've been watching and really admiring, because I admire these people. The same people that I bring on understand there's an admiration for these people because of the work that they put in. And I only hope that with everything that I do, and as I stated, I take it very, very serious. I only hope that I do a great job amplifying your voices. Now, I said this on Twitter. I was going to say X. I said this on X before, that the job of the new Black media is to amplify the policies and voices of the people, foundational Black Americans. And as long as I'm doing that, I can be happy. But family, I want you guys to be my accountability. The very second that I'm not representing foundational Black American voices, call me out. Make sure I know that I'm not a part of the new Black media anymore. Because that's my whole goal, is to make sure that foundational Black Americans are able to not just say what we need, but the world is able to hear foundational Black Americans' needs. We didn't work for everybody else's needs for so long. It's strange to people when we start talking for ourselves. It's strange to people that we're deciding not to put ourselves on the line for other people anymore. Well, that's because y'all choose to ignore our voices. When we say we need something, y'all want to make it about everybody else. Roland Martin could have been big in the foundational Black American space. The problem is he cares not about the foundational Black Americans. Name anybody, toss them in there. Kansas Owens, she could have been big. She chose to be big in the white supremacist spaces. So when I meet people and I see people and I see their broadcasts and their shows and things like that, when I hear them and I hear people who actually genuinely speak towards foundational Black Americans, and you know what's genuine. You know what's genuine. When I hear those genuine voices, I admire them. I hold them in high regard, because the truth of the matter is, this is what we need. We don't need a Roland Martin. We don't need Kansas Owens. We have Jason Black. We got BeatZilla. We got Black Alpha. We got Afro Elite. We got Kid Gravity. We got Torian Reigns. We got Lisa Cabrera. We have all the voices that we need right here. So these people, I always, always, always will give flowers to, because they're standing 10 toes down when it comes to representing for our people. And that's not even in question. So much love to you all. Much love to all the voices within the new Black media, because without us, like I said before, our policies won't get pushed. Nothing to get done if we don't do it. Let's be very, very clear on that. So much love to all of you. Thank you for being here. Like I said, these first Sundays are becoming some of my most favorite segments. Hopefully, you all will be back here tomorrow. We got something else to talk about, but I'm going to let that be a surprise when y'all see the window pop up. And with that being said, family, thank you to all the members and everything that you guys do, because you keep me going as well as keeping this platform going. So I appreciate all of you. But with that being said, family, for the second time, if you guys see in my face, this time I can give you a salute, and the doors of the church are now closed. Peace, family.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever can't stand us black people, he doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing, us black people going to survive. So fuck everybody. I'm off.